Apex Online Racing is sponsored by Elgato, who created this lovely Stream Deck. For more information about the Stream Deck, the link is in the description below.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, mothers, fathers, daughters, sons, brothers, and sisters. It's so weird seeing my name like that. Thank you, Mr. Nick Domino, for doing the apvo that I really wasn't expecting for this one-off special that the lovely people at AOR have put on as a final farewell to myself. So it feels very weird going through that introduction for something pointed at me. But I have Mr. James Clay in the box to help me along with the show. Hello, James.
I will try my best to get proceedings going along.
Right then, we have 22 drivers joining us for these little legends, these 500 kilogram cars with 1200cc Yamaha screaming engines in them. Let's see who we've got. Car number one. Although it does say V3 Racing at the bottom, they're not representing their various teams today. Number one, Stefan Kamke. Number 44, the Pad Warrior himself. I'm very glad to commentate one final time on Mr. Phil Reed, who, along with Alec Hudson, we're just going to point out they have that lovely message on the tail of the card. Thank you, Mr. Phil Reed. Number 45 is Stephen Broomfield. Number 71, Thomas Coombe in a garish. I do not approve of that, Mr. Coombe. I do not approve of that colour scheme. Number 95, Tom Holland, giving it a big old bootful going down to the line. Number 6, Christoph Holstein. Good to see you here, sir. Number 7, Rick Van Dorn, a Tepper representative in the squad. I do love the fact that on that particular, there's a few people running that line in between, that big old grin on the front. Number 8, Mr. James. No, James accidentally.
No, I'm afraid I've messed up. I've already got proceedings off on the wrong foot, but I'm not used to signing up in hosted sessions as a spectator.
He accidentally joined us at driver. Number 9 is Alec Hudson, who also is running the Pizza Games livery. I again highly approve. Thank you very much, Alec Hudson. Our graphics god himself, Mr. Domino. Now that is a very bright livery you're running, sir. What on earth does yours say on the back? No, that's a very standard message he's running there. So thank you very much for your graphics work, Mr. Nick Domino. This is a name I don't recognise, Christian Takas. So welcome to you. This session isn't just open to league runners. Any and all were able to join that had the password, which is on the forums. Definitely a name I know. Number 12, Blair Man. 177, Sarah. Oh, she's running the Pizza Games one as well. Oh, thank you, Sarah, as well, for running that particular level. Number 14, Tobias Weber. I feel like I should know the name, but I'm afraid I don't recognise that. Oh, that's a very dark livery on there. A few people haven't jumped on track, interestingly. Number 147, Evan Imre. I'm glad to get to commentate on you one more time. There's a name I haven't commentated on for a long time, and I'm glad to get to do so one last time. Mr. Gaidemeyer. Welcome to you, number 37. 19, Victor Matios. Welcome to you. James Pinsker. Well, there's a bit of green. It's not quite typical. It's on the livery. Jamie Smith in the 21. Chris Yardley, do you have a grin on the front of your car? You haven't left, so I don't know. There's 3 other names in here. Rano Luke, Mike Scapers. I haven't commentated on Mike Scapers for a very long time, so I'm glad to see him back on the board. And whilst we were doing that, that was actually qualifying going on for race 1. So let's have a look at who's qualified where. It's Holstein and Mann. It's Comrade on the front once again. And then it's
Comrade 1, 2, 3.
It is, because Dominic Gadamer, who's listed here as a privateer, but he was part of the Comrade squad for most of his last league participation. Then it's Broomfield, Dove, Van Dorn, Takas, Imre, Koom, Pinsker, Domino, Holland, Kamke, Weber. I think we used to say that as Weber, I'm sure. Smith, Reed, Scapers, Clay, Luke, Alpol. Dan Alpol's with us. Yeah, I didn't see his name. Yardley, Matios, and Hudson. Now, there is one thing I'm going to highlight at this point. What a great... I do approve of that safety car, though.
That's
That's
quite large.
It's huge compared to the car.
It's massive.
It is. Are we doing a full... Oh, is it full lap behind the safety car, is it?
I think so. I mean,
Looks
it's not a very long lap, so...
No, very true. I mean, we're doing... What was your time? You did set a time.
I did like a 52 something in practice, a 52.9, and Paul was a 52.1. So
Chris Yardley has very hurriedly put... I think that's supposed to smile. I mean, in fairness, the front of that thing is not straight. He has tried his best to get the grin on the front of the car. I appreciate your effort there, Chris.
I have noticed, though, that he is basically running the same livery that you very much disapprove on Thomas Coombs' car, but with the grim.
It is exceedingly pink. Oh, goodness me. So, for those wondering what the hell is going on, I sadly have had to stand down from my involvement in the GTE League. We're fighting the iRacing side of things over in AOR. Time constraints no longer allow me to do so, which is a great shame because the GTE League in particular has been my favourite league for quite some time. And these nutters over here, mainly driven by Stefan Kamke, I will add, has put this race together as a final farewell. And Mike Scapers, unless my... Oh, he hasn't joined the track, has he?
No, he's been a bit... I think he's... I don't actually know when he disconnected, so I think he's just had some sort of issue that happened quite a while ago and he hasn't been able to fix.
That's a shame. So we've lost James Clay and Mike Scapers. I think James Clay we might lose every time. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Someone's keen to get on with it. They're trying to do a 3 wide at the front. That's interesting because these things are slippery, very, very slippery. So
I mean, I guess the Comrade trio are probably in a call together.
Yes, very true. It's weird commenting on Comrade without the typical green flavoured livery. But,
speaking of one of them, can I just name shame Mr. Bennett, who told me that he was doing this race and is currently not here?
Well, in fairness, there are 3 races tonight. So this one is 10 minutes, 12 laps. Second race, the top 10 of this race get reverse. Start the second race in reverse, and then the third race, a 20-minute race, the grid is based on the results of race 2. So let's get race 1 underway then, as Mr. Holstein leads these screaming nutters down the way, and let's see who's going to be bravest on the brakes. Now, Blair Mann was giving it absolutely plenty of beans, very sideways through the practice. He was a little bit more conservative that time, and away we go. Who is going to come out on top? Who has mastered these tricky little beans?
Someone was very wide in drawers, but I think they were just going sort of drift around the outside to try and take a position instead.
So then, Holstein leads Blair. Blair Mann leads Dominic Gadamer, leads Stephen Brumfield up into 4th position. Sarah Dove in 5th place, with Rick Van Dorn already behind Evan Imre. Up into 7th, there is Christine Takas with James Pinsker. Oops, that's Holstein's lost a spot already. Blair Mann has nailed him coming through that final turn. There are only about 4 turns in this track. That is how quick it is.
I think if you actually count it, there are exactly 6 turns. That is my number on it. However, knowing how corner numbers work, sometimes it could be the other way.
Yeah, it kind of depends how you deem that last turn. Oh, Holstein is going very defensively against Gadamer. This might be an all in good fun. Doesn't mean they're not going to try. Oh! No! Like so. Get out of the way, which he does. Very nicely done. Holstein falls through the field. And then there's Yardley in that very strange looking car. Oh, goodness me. So then, let's have a look at so Holstein reappears in 16th position. We were running through the field. Phil Reed and Thomas Coombe have just swapped round. So Phil Reed, the pad warrior, as he was always affectionately known in the GTE League, into 11th position, chasing Stefan Kamke, the man responsible for all this craziness that were happening, that is going on up front. Christian Takas very, very close to the tail of Evan Imre. So, well, as is imagined with a car of this ilk on the track of this size, as Phil Reed lags out of existence. He's just overtaken Stefan Kamke coming through Paddock Hill Bend. There is fighting throughout the field. Let's have a quick look through everybody else. There is Jamie Smith being chased very much by Yardley, Holstein, Rano Luke. There he is in the 15 car. Then Matthias Tobias Weber is right behind. There he is being chased by Alec Hudson.
Holstein getting very racy. He wants to get back up to his fellow CRG drivers. Already taken Chris Yardley and then Jamie Smith into that final corner.
Oh, that's Jamie Smith gone way too deep. Through goes
Yardley. And he's off, and Yardley is off into the grass in that final corner.
What did he do?
And he's backwards. I think there was just 3 wides and contact and messes.
Yeah, well,
I mean, he spun it by himself.
I think he did.
Yeah.
I think he did lose it by himself. It's a bit of a shame to put Mr. Yardley at the tail of the field. But Blair Mann is leading the way from Dominic Gaidemer. Dominic hasn't lost any of his racing prowess, it would seem. It's good to see. They can go quite wide on that particular bit of AstroTurf, but as soon as they touch the grass, well, we know what the grass is on these things. That's just so you can just tell the craziness of this particular car. Where's the car? There we go. Well, if they're riding on board, that's what they see. I mean, it is like racing through a World War II pillbox as they scream on. I love the comment in chat that Yardley's car looks like a pink Squidward. That's brilliant. Into Paddock Hill Bend. This particular corner I absolutely hate. I'm not very good at that particular spot in Brands. Then up towards Druids, heavy on the brakes. Oh, Blair's not giving it any of the sideways we saw in practice. It's a great shame. Hopefully we'll see
he thought about it on exit there, though. He was getting there.
And you could just hear that high revving scream of this engine as we go over Graham Hill Bend, down Cooper Straight. Second bar's not really straight. There we go. As good as it gets. Oh dear, there's been trouble behind. I'm going to have to leave that lap as Rano Luke is facing the wrong way. What's he done? Oh no, someone ahead of him. That's the 21 car. That was... Who was that? Who did he headbutt? Oh, it's Jamie Smith that he had an argument with. Oh dear. Holstein and Campion.
There was a lot of synchronised spinning going on there, to be honest.
Stefan and Christoph side by side coming down the start-finish straight. Bear in mind, this is only a 12-lap race, or this race is only 12 laps long. As I say, the first of 3 races, and Holstein go for an outside manoeuvre coming into Paddock Hill Bend. Kamke holding on to the inside. Oh, Holstein, that was a brown trouser moment for the number 6 car, but he manages to keep it pointing in the right way and gets into Druids ahead of Stefan Kamke. Very nicely done. Gaidemer is still being hounded by Stephen Broomfield for 2nd position at the moment. Sarah Dove still has Rick Van Dorn breathing down her exhaust pipe as she goes. Wow, she went for a much tighter line through that Clark curve. However, is that going to favour Rick Van Dorn bouncing away?
The slight issue with these cars is that the gearing is basically limited to the fact that you'll reach the rev limiter just as you approach the end of the start-finish straight. So overtaking into turn 1 is quite a difficult task, as Rick is proving. But Sarah puts up a very good defence, holding the inside line through both turn 1 and then into Druids. Rick will try around the outside. Will he get the better traction? He gets a bit sideways, and I think that's kind of the end of his chances for now.
There were 3 lots of side-by-side, 4 lots of side-by-side as Christoph Holstein now nails the 2nd pink car of Thomas Coombe. But you basically had Sarah Dove and Rick Van Dorn in their dance, Evan Imre and Christian Takas, and Phil Reed and James Pinsker, all having battles. Although this is now a 4-way fight, Evan Imre, Christian Takas, the ever-disappearing Phil Reed. Oh, Evan, where are you going? And James Pinsker, who is acting as our camera car at the moment.
Ooh, very close on the start-finish straight between Evan and Christian.
Phil, where are you going?
A bit of a bump draft from Phil.
Wow, Phil Reed trying to go inside on the inside.
I know these are made for ovals, but you don't need to be taking bump drafting over to the roadside.
He's still going though, isn't he?
And Phil, once again, on what we like to coin the hamster internet, where he keeps appearing and disappearing as his hamster goes faster and slower. And there has been a massive crash in turn 1. I believe that's Jamie Smith and somebody else.
Let's have a look. Oh, wow, Jamie Smith lost that of his own accord and caught the 19. That's Victor Matias. Oh, dear. Well, Victor ended up in the sand. And Jamie Smith now in the last position. Has gone on his way again. There doesn't appear to be... Is damage not on? Because these things look absolutely fine. They still have all their...
I think damage is on. I just think they're a bit more robust than some of the cars.
That's Thomas Coombe. That's because you've got a pink livery. I'm blaming that. Oh, just a little bit too slidey ways coming through the final turn and off onto the grass for you, as Evan Imre and Takas are continuing to have their fight. Well, actually, they've been in that four-way scrap all race long, haven't they? Oh, there's Holstein and Nick Domino swapping around. Look at those eyes on the front of Nick Domino's car. How cute! Watch from the gear, but look at that. How can that not melt the cockles of your heart? The cartoon eyes in the front of Nick Domino's car. Look at Pinsker. He's still in this four-way fight that Phil Reed now is in front of. Again, Phil hasn't lost any of his racing prowess, even though he still remains on the pad. The top guys are fairly settled down now. It's everybody else.
Well, we've got 2 more laps at the end of this one before we will move on to a reverse grid race, which... Well, we'll have to see how turn 1 goes with a reverse grid.
Well, it's only the top 10, I believe, that are reversed. So the top 10 finishes from this race will be a reverse grid. Is that going to
Which puts Christoph Holstein on pole.
It does. So he might choose to stay there. Oh,
actually, that's
Evan.
yeah,
It's Evan Imre. Yeah. What happened here? That's the 20 car. That's James Pinsker. Oh dear. Mr. Pinsker getting his elbows out, Ray Tepper style. Oh, Dan Alpol and Victor Matios having a scrap around Druids. That's Stefan Kamke in the Hot Wheels car coming past Evan. He's just recovered. Oh, Victor, what's going on with you? Oh, dear. Yeah, the front of that car does not look happy. Those wheels do not look like they're pointing in the direction they should be.
I think that answers the question of whether damage is on or off.
Somewhat, yes. Look at this, Dominic Gainemere and Stephen Brookfield continuing their epic battle for second place. And right ahead of them is Blair Mann. So Blair's really not gotten away too far unless he just hasn't bothered to try. We haven't really looked up front for a while.
He needs to try drifting through turn 1 just on the final lap.
Just because he can.
He'll get disqualified otherwise. Blair, I know you can't hear us, but you've got to do it.
Well, there you go. The adjudication is watching you as they come down to start the final lap. Oh, Holstein and Pinsker have just swapped round, coming through the final turn. Now, he didn't. Well, fail. Blair Mann, that's it. Disqualified. Dominic Gainemere is going to win.
Yeah. I mean, we have the power to disqualify Blair, but I don't think it's quite. I don't think it's quite fair.
Not really in the spirit of this event. Let's be honest.
However, we do have the power to throw a full course caution if we feel that there's been perhaps too many incidents out on track.
Yeah,
I feel like that might be useful in the 20-minute race that we have at the
in
end.
race 3, perhaps. Oh, and that's Chris Yardley. Oh, it's tangling up with Tobias Weber, and sadly the grinning. I can't say grinning Ford because it isn't a Ford. But your winner here in race number 1 is the comrade representative, or one of the comrade representatives of Blair Mann, Dominic Gainemere 2, Stephen Broomfield 3, and is Blair. No, now Blair, you're a tad late on that one, and that wasn't a very good drift either. Rick Van Dorn comes over the line in 4th position, just beating Sarah Dove to it, and then Phil Reed. Oh, lovely smoky finish there from the 44. Oh, there's Holstein flying off into the dust there. Now, on my screen, the positions are still changing. Has this race actually properly finished?
No, Jamie Smith is still coming across the line, as is Victor, Yardley, and Alpol are all still yet to cross the line.
See, on my screen now, suddenly Stephen Broomfield, well, he was listed in the lead. So I wonder if has iRacing.
I think that's just people overtaking post line.
Yeah, it must be because now the position's going nuts. Everyone is doing their kind of post-race celebrations. Although Christian Takas did get the right idea. Never mind, he didn't make it to the end. So Nick Domino was listed as winning that one, apparently.
Well, Nick is now in P1 because it's the reverse grid race.
I don't think I can use the results screen of this because it is actually showing us where they currently are. Yeah, see, that grid is
because I don't think the actual results are set in stone until we get to the feature race at the end of the feature race.
Indeed. So, the results were as you saw them. As we now jump straight into our reverse grid race, it's Nick Domino that is going to be on the front apparently. I think Holstein did make a few more overtakes because it's Nick Domino,
yes.
James Pinsker in second. Not everybody is gridded up, so we can't look at them all at the moment. Where's the blimp? Oh, the blimp's right overhead. Excellent. But Nick Domino is going to take the front row with James Pinsker, then Holstein directly behind in third, Christian Takas fourth, Phil Reed in fifth. There's no point in me rushing because we do have a big old safety truck right ahead of them to lead them around. I
don't even think I actually no. I have. This is the one that they have on like the big oval races.
Look
because
how small,
I remember
on the cockpit view of Nick Domino. Look how small it looks compared to the truck. That's absolutely brilliant.
I remember after the Indy 500 a couple of weeks ago when I was driving through pit lane post race. We finished under yellow and the pace car came with me through the pit lane and it just drove through me, but it's so big that I was just so shocked as there was just this massive 4x4 essentially.
We have a few.
I know I'm in the Indy car, so I'm basically sat on the floor, and you've got this massive truck just passing you by.
I've had that actually when I've been doing my various challenges in Project Cars 2. One of which I'm doing at the moment to raise awareness for mental health. I'm actually doing a 25 episode run of my Wacky Random Challenge in Project Cars 2 on my YouTube channel. Look me up. It's Ranger Carrot, alter ego name. And I've had combinations where it's like, Formula 1 cars or Indy cars against big trucks or GT cars, and you just feel tiny. Absolutely tiny. But Nick Domino is going to floor it to signify the beginning of the race, and away we go with Pinsker in second, Holstein third, Takas fourth, Phil Reed in fifth position as we scream our way down to...
And Holstein's already gotten past Pinsker as they went through turn one and up towards Stewart. He's going to look to see maybe whether he could look down the inside of Domino, but he makes the late defence through the Druids hairpin down towards turn three, and Holstein's going to have to sit behind unless he thinks he can banzai it down the inside here.
Someone was doing a bit of lawnmower in the back. Dominic Gatorman all the way down to 14th position.
Holstein getting very close.
Yeah, he is. He's nosed into the lead. Is Nick Domino going to let him have it? I did wonder if he's going to understeer into him. He's now going to
Domino's touched!
Holstein is off into the dust. Very, very much so. I can't get his name. Come here. There he is. All the way down to the tail end of the field. But James Pinsker now leads the way. There's so many people within... You go down to 8th, Evan Imre, before you get a second. No, that's changing all the time. So many people so close together. Whoa, James Pinsker's on
that
too wide.
Pinsker off.
And he's
collected.
Sarah Phil Reed now leads the way as Sarah and James have frolic around in the sand. Take that sentence as you will. Chris Yardley and Tobias Webb have started from the pit lanes. So they're a bit late gridding up. Oh, wow, Phil Reed nearly flying off the road down there at Graham Hill Bend. But continuing on his way, Rick Van Dorn is now second, Nick Domino third, side by side with Christian Takas, Stephen Brumfield right in there in fifth position, Evan Imre right behind as they're now trying to go three wide heading into the final turn into Clark. And Nick Domino still leads this particular train. There is passes and overtakes going on all over the place. There is Kanki in 7th position, Gaydomere behind, Jamie Smith 9th, Matthias 10th, Blair Mann in 11th position, the winner of the first round, right up the tail of...
Evan has just... there's been a crash with Evan and Takas.
Yeah, what happened with them? So Takas has gone spinning off. Ooh, I think... okay, it looked like the Takas' car was inside Evan's car for a brief moment. I think Evan may well have tapped the tail of Takas on the way down the hill from Paddock Hill Bend. And that was certainly changed the event off. That's Gaydomere putting a move on Kemke. And for, what is that, for 6th position. Oh, these things are just so sliding. It's one of these things that you've got to throw the car in and hope that it stops sliding before you find the dust.
I mean, you slam the brakes, downshift very quickly, turn in, get on the power, slide it, and just pray to whatever deity you believe in that you don't end up in the gravel trap.
My mic wouldn't unmute for a second. I had to turn to my younger son. Oh, that's Blair Man and Jamie Smith having an argument at Druids. That was for 8th position, which Blair has come through on. Oh, trouble! There's Alec Hudson! Oh no, what have you done? What's going on here? Oh, that's a little bit too eager, and that's trouble for Evan as well. He's had an incident slightly. Oh, he got spun! That actually looked like he got spun out by. It wasn't counting.
Well,
Gadamer.
there is. And there is now someone on his roof. I believe that's Tom Holland that's on his roof.
Oh dear.
But then managed to get the right side up eventually.
Oh, well done, Tom Holland. Well, that's one way to make yourself feel sick, I suppose. And he did indeed land back on his wheels. And that is... oh, no, that's James Pinsker. What's happened to James? He's teleported back to the pit. Oh, he's just come to a halt. He's had a technical problem of some description.
I am very confused.
Well, indeed. Oh, that's Gadamer and Nick Domino. 4th position.
Oh, James Pinsker blew his engine.
Oh, dear. Well, that'll do it. Yep, Tom Holland has recovered back to the pits as well. He didn't actually manage to drag his car back there, so he could come back on track. Driver of the day, James Fay. Yeah, James is amazingly consistent. We haven't seen any incidents from him.
Well, that is... I haven't taken anybody out. But no, what I was actually just doing was I was mimicking, as I talked about on Monday, the first race that you ever commentated on that I did, which was the 2.4 hours of Le Mans in Project Cars. And in that race, one of your commentators from the F1 side had retired and come back.
That would be good old Hamish Owens. Jamie Smith has wandered too wide, which I've done many, many times coming through Paddock Hill, Ben, and nudged the wall.
I think he's nudged the wall, yeah.
And he's boiled his tyres. Unfortunately, he's now out of speed. Indeed, yes, I know the event you were referring to there, James.
I'm actually just repeating that symmetry. That's what's going on. Definitely, that was the intention.
Blair Man and Nick Domino still having an argument for 5th position. Right ahead of them is Dominic Gadamer. Then Rick Van Dorn and Stephen Broomfield are equally scrapping over 2nd position. Phil Reed is having a comparatively quiet race up front.
Well, he has just dipped a wheel in the gravel as they've gone through Paddock Hill.
Indeed, the Pad Warrior doing his best there. Matthias has got Holstein for company. They're in 9th position. Christian Takas a little bit... we saw him spinning sideways off through the grass earlier on.
Van Dorn got very sideways as they went through turn 3, and he's now off into the gravel, and that's allowed Brumfield through, but I don't think Gadamer will be able to take advantage of that, and no, he won't.
Oh, wow. It looked like he was trying to go for the drift, but sadly it corrected itself, and the car kind of snapped to the right as we see Holstein there overtaking Matthias. And, no, it's Nick Domino. Is that Domino? The 19 car. No, it is Matthias. Beg your pardon. I got confused there because I thought that was Domino's.
They're both in similar coloured cars. However, Domino's is definitely a Squirtle, whereas this I think is just Victor's colour scheme.
That explains the eyes. Very much explains the eyes. Rick Van Dorn, Dominic Gadamer, and Blair Mann are very much getting themselves into a 3-way fight for the last podium spot. As these two grinning Lightning McQueens surround. That would be quite scary for Dominic Gadamer. Just this big old grin staring at him the whole time. Oh, Alec Hudson's in trouble again. Oh no, what's he done? He's binned it somewhere.
He's binned it in the final corners.
Yeah, the front wheels of that car do not look happy. So I think... oh, Rano Luke. What's going on with Rano Luke? Oh, that's Alec Hudson. He's just slammed into the back of. And now Dan Alpole is stationary. Oh, has he blown his engine up as well? Yeah, we literally just heard it go bang.
Well, when I said about you spam down the gears with your gear shifters and pray, I kind of meant pray that your engine doesn't break.
Yeah, go on, that didn't half go with a bang. Ooh, Blair Man with that's Dominic Gator. Sorry, Dominic Gator on the back of Blair Man, fourth position. No, other way around. Blair Man is chasing Dominic Gator for fourth. I'll get it right in a minute. Oh, Holstein and Cam Keeve just swapped round.
Blair going for a little bit of a drift actually as he was trying to get past Dominic there.
Look at that, top, well, the 4 of the top 5 in that one shot. Oh no, that is the top 5, as he just saw Phil Reed flying through the shot. Yeah, now 10 laps done, 3 to go. Ooh, sorry, we're on lap 10 now. Blair Man is really determined. Well, you put racers in a race car on a racetrack, and what do you expect? Oh, is Blair Man going to try and do an outside manoeuvre through Druids? That's a brave man, but
and Dominic is not having any of that.
No, didn't quite pull it off, but damn, that was a good effort.
Teammates coming to blows, but definitely don't care about that here.
If they're blowing their engines up now, what are they going to be like in the 20 minutes? Oh, speaking of, Pinsker is... what is Pinsker doing? He's back on track. He's been sat there for a while. Oh, wow, he's been sat there a very long while. What's he doing? Well, James, he's running again, but he was sat still for a considerable period of time, having been in the pits for 2 minutes.
Yeah, I think he was letting the leaders go, actually.
Ah, okay. So there's a quick rundown then, as the checkered flag will be out in under a minute.
Okay, James has also now gone exploring. And he's hit an invisible wall.
Jamie Smith is... oops, yeah, too much slidey ways going on at Druids there, sir. What is James doing? Oh, he's trying to dig a hole by the sound of it. Yeah. Well, he'll find us radio that way. Oh, that's still really lagging. Oh, Blair Man and Dominic Gator side by side coming down towards the McLaren cut through, which is this part. And Gaidemay's going to have the inside line coming into Clark Curve once again. And still the 37 car fends off the advances of a Blair Man. But that is so close. You just get the feeling that an impact is inevitable right ahead. That's Broomfield and Rick Van Dorn.
This is obviously for a place on the front row as well for the final feature.
Indeed, because the finishing results of this race dictate the grid for the final 20-minute races. We see Phil Reed coming past the 21 car of
that's Jamie Smith.
Yes, who we just saw having a bit of an explore of his undercord. Oh no, Gaidemay's off. Gaidemay's gone off at Druids.
I think it might have had...
Oh, he tangled up with Blair Man. That was a little bit unfortunate. Oh, it was a four-way battle forming behind Evan Imray in 12th position. Oh, as he gets squiggly coming through Druids. So there's Thomas Kuhn, Chris Yardley and Sarah Dove in their fight for 12th place. Oh, Blair Man.
Across the line, Phil going to go very squiggly, and there we go.
Phil Reed has taken the victory in race number 2. Stephen Broomfield is second, Van Dorn 3. Gaydemare is just about... No, Blair Man, I think, might have pipped him. Holstein is next. Unfortunately, because the positions constantly change for me, I'm not 100% sure who finishes where. We just know... I'll actually just go to the blimp cam, because there's going to be all kinds of carnage. Oh, they're literally right underneath the blimp.
We have people inside of each other.
Whoa,
we had the two Lightning McQueen cars of Van Dorn and Mann just quite literally physically inside of each other.
Oh, as we cut to Blair Man doing some acrobatics. That was an amazing amount of height that Evan Imray just got there. So Tobias Webber comes over the line. Alec Hudson is already doing donuts, so that I believe should conclude our second race, going to Mr. Phil Reed. So this thing is weird to turn. Well, I imagine it is very, very different.
I think it's also quite weird to turn right in this car.
Yeah, geared to go in one direction. And wow, that was an amazing amount of physics going on there from Tom Holland's car, as it kind of repelled itself from the barrier. Right then, so now the grid is going to be formed for the final race. It's formed automatically.
We have a 2-minute warm-up though, so drivers will be able to just get everything in order. Very,
very true. And Jamie Smith is the first one out. We'll see. There's no one else has opted. Oh, no, there we go. A few more people choosing to use this. I mean, just look at the front wheels on Jamie's car. Just weird angles. And you've got the left side really pointing over to the right in a straight line.
I don't know whether he's just not loaded a road setup and he's running a oval setup, because that would explain some really weird cambers. But
it does look a bit odd.
I mean, there have been times when I've been behind this car on an oval race and looked at it and been very confused, but then I realised that actually that's just kind of intended.
They all seem to have that odd camber on them from what I can see. I mean, it's a clockwise circuit, so I guess that makes some sense. And Druids being... Oh no, Druids follows that. It's Graham Hill that doesn't. There's only two turns that disobey that rule, so it doesn't make some sense to have some camber in it. Oh well.
Yes, it is.
If it works for them, that's what matters. So 30 more seconds of this warm-up session before we head to the 20-minute race, which if people are blowing their engines up in the first race, I dread to think how the hell they're going to cope with this 20-minute race. Oh, we have a new entrant. Number 24, Mikko Pari. From the cruising
I don't think the game is allowing him to race, though, which is very
that would be a
unfortunate.
shame. You can't bring your BMW. The Team Cruising Missiles representative is not bringing the M8. What is the grid going to be then? It should be the results from the previous race. Let us see what it gives us. It's going to be... Well, Stefan Kamke would have loved to have started first, as he was on my screen for a minute. It's Jamie Smith on the front row. Apparently, nope, there we go. It is now corrected. Phil Reed and Stephen Brimfield on the front row, as we had previously thought. We'll have a look at Stefan, as he is very early to grid up. And there's that big old truck at the front, acting as the safety car. 23 laps, give or take. With the 12-lap races all vanished fairly quickly, didn't they?
Yep, and... Well, it could be really close with this 23 or 24 laps. So come on, guys, we need to get it as long as possible. need to see the ultimate pace from the lap times.
Well, I mean, if it's going to be ultimate pace, no one's engines are going to survive. From what we've seen.
Just don't go too hard on the downshifts.
Fair enough. I can't argue with that. I've not driven these things, so...
I mean, the cars, obviously, built in 1934, didn't really have downshift protection like a lot of modern race cars have, so...
True.
Yeah.
Very, very true. It does look like Mikko Pari was not allowed to take part, as James alluded to. It's a bit of a shame. I'm assuming there's a you can't join with less than X amount of time remaining.
I think it's just that you can't join once either qualifying or the race has started, I don't know which.
Well, that makes sense. For the final time then, this evening, and for the now at least, the final time, my iRacing involvement here at AOR. I must say it has been absolutely amazing. Whilst I'm actually using some emotional momentum to do that, because there's a thank you message on the back of Phil's car. But it's been incredible being involved in the iRacing side. It's great being involved in AOR. It's great being a commentator. Phil, you quit lagging. And I'm genuinely sad that I do have to step down from the GTE side and do the iRacing side, but I am looking to get back into the Formula 1 side when the next season starts, so hopefully I'll be back in the AOR Combox before long. I'll be doing something to pass the time, I'm sure. Sadly, the GTE League, my involvement in, is coming to an end. So I'm still very sad about, but for the final time, here we go. We are racing here at Brands Hatch. Who is going to survive to look at this? Now, we've got a big old stream of cars coming down into turn one. Stephen Brumfield, well, there's a lot of people getting into the tyre tracks of Phil Reed. We can down the hill through Paddock Bend for the first time in anger. Has everybody survived? Look at the back. This is James Pinsker. Looks like everybody has indeed lived so far. How well will the Pad Warrior be able to stay at the front? These things look hard enough to drive anyway, so Phil's got an added disadvantage being on the pad, no?
Indeed, completely. I've never understood how Phil has managed to drive this game on a controller with the amount of pace that he has. It is
crazy.
I don't even. I just yeah.
It,
I mean, sometimes it explains why I see him sideways and spun around in some races, but still, he's faster than me by quite some distance, and somehow doing it all on a controller, which is just unimaginably impressive.
Yeah. I've mentioned this many times when I've spoken to Phil, just how you do it. Broomfield, that looked like a big snap of oversteer. He managed to catch it quick enough before coming to Druids once again. Camky and Domino swap round into Druids Bend.
Well, this lot behind Phil are getting all a bit feisty at the moment. I just thought there was going to be an accident any second, and Holstein's joined the party, and obviously with his run of the past couple of races here, I wouldn't be surprised if he gets involved in some incident that then causes him to be sent to the back. And actually, there's been some other I think Chris is the one that survived it the most.
That went a bit horribly wrong, didn't it? So who was involved in that? Takas, I think, was involved. Broomfield falling down the field. Kamki is facing the wrong way. You weren't involved in it. What did you do? Comes the number one. So I think he's probably had a sympathy spin being around it. He wasn't involved in it directly, but it's put him off enough. It's sent him spinning through the field. Yardley's lost a few spots. Oh, and there goes Thomas Coombe on the inside, just looked at him. But now Phil Reed leads Christoph Holstein by 2 seconds. We haven't seen a gap that big all night. But right on Christoph Holstein's tail, once again, is Blair Mann, the comrade pair, once again having their fight up front.
And Blair has definitely got a bit of bent bodywork from the incident in the previous lap in the final corner. So we'll have to see if that will affect him as they run down towards Paddock Hill Bend. But there's just nothing you can do because they're just bouncing off the rev limit to both cars. So trying to actually pull in front is incredibly difficult, and the slipstream doesn't really do much to affect it. So more of an opportunity is down here into Druids at turn 2. But Blair did not have the run to get past his comrade teammate, and the blinky Phil Reed is just streaking away off into the distance.
I never thought to call him Blinky. That's a brilliant nickname for Phil Reed. But look at this lot, all behind. Well, it's essentially behind Evan Imre, but he's not that far on the back of Victor Matias. He's also not that far off the back of Nick Domino. But also to mention, James Pinsker, from starting last, is now up into 9th. So a great run for him. Dan Alpol is very much off into the dust. What have you done? Oh, that's a big impact. Looks like you're at the tail of the field anyway, unfortunately. But, oh, that's got really, really squiggly before you've even got to Paddock Hill Bend. That is a very dead car by the sound of that. He's still sat there. He's going to do a Fernando Alonso and put up a deck chair down there. It's a bit of a risky place to do it. Oh, side by side, Alec Hudson and Tom Holland. And now Dominic Edemir part the waves, and does part the wave. God blimey, Dominic Edemir he's sharpened those elbows, hasn't he? He's not lost any sharpness there, and he's now going to try to go on the inside of Alec Hudson. Oh, for Graham Hill Bend. Oh no, they come together, and they're both into the ball. Although Alec does manage to stop his car amazingly.
Yeah, but he's selected reverse gear and he is still at the side of the track, so falling quite a way behind.
Dan Alpol's still there. He's got a. Well, I mean, look at the view he's got. It's a great spectator.
I mean, that's true. He has got the best seat in the house. It's just, I mean, he's supposed to be on the grey stuff, not the gravel.
Dominic Edem has actually brought his car into the pits. So after 5 minutes of racing in this race, he has decided to pit his car, along with Alec Hudson. Well, it's not really a surprise for Alec Hudson to do so, after that rather amazing acrobatics. But Holstein still very much fighting off the advances of Blair Mann. 1.6 seconds separates them and Phil Reed. I think Phil's lost a bit of his lead there. Because Phil keeps lagging, I'm not sure what his last lap was. But there he is. You can see him on the right-hand side of the shots. Holstein nails himself to the defensive line, and then you've got quite a train forming behind them. But actually, Nick Domino in 4th position in the Squircle car. Nice slide, nicely done. But right behind him, Victor Matin. Oh, as I've looked away at the wrong moment, Blair Mann and Christoph Holstein side by side through Druids. But still no change in that position. So Nick Domino leads this train of Victor Mathios, Evan Imre, Sarah Dove, Christian Takas, Stephen Brumfield, and James Pinsker. And really not far behind them is Rano Luke, so he could get involved in this. We've got nearly 2 seconds, about 1.8 seconds back to Jamie Smith, who leads Thomas Coombe, Chris Yardley. That is the three of them. Himself and the Pink Warriors. Or was it sort of the strange thing? What was it? Squidward that was described as.
Yeah.
Oh, Holstein and Blairman still side by side now coming into the Paddock Bend.
Chris Yardley's grinning Ford that just knocked the Ford GTE.
True. Oh, now what's Holstein going to do here? Has he been able to get the momentum he needs? Holstein on the outside. Is Blairman going to deep? No, Blairman has finally managed to wrest second position from Holstein.
Don't speak too soon.
Yeah, oh me, little faith. I gave up on that one too early. But Blairman still has the momentum though. Oh, there's trouble. There's Rick Van Dorn has suddenly slowed down. What's gone on here? Jamie Smith is in trouble. Oops, that's what Jamie Smith has done. Christian Takas has now had trouble. There's trouble going on everywhere. Can't keep up with it all. Oh dear, Christian Takas actually got tangled up in someone else's problem. That was the 19 car. That was, I don't know who, it was Victor Matios. And actually straightened Victor out of the slide, amazingly. But now Holstein is behind Blairman. Pinsker now up to 7th position. He's just gone past James Broomfield as he stares at the back of what is now a three-way train of Nick Domino, Evan Imre and Sarah Dove. Right behind them, just saw Rana Luke and Victor Matios continuing their fight for 9th position. And returning to the track, Dominic Gademir. He wasn't in the pits too long. Neither was Alec Hudson, actually, in fairness. But they've returned to the track. Dan Alpol still watching from the sidelines.
I don't think he's ever going to move.
No, well, it's a great position.
I think we could give him all his laps back and he still wouldn't move.
Indeed. Right, it's difficult enough for me to know where to look because there's just clumps of battles going on everywhere. Again, that's not a criticism whatsoever. It is rather what we expected though from these things because I did say.
I was expecting a lot more crash, like big crash. I was expecting some big pile-ups, but we've only really had some mini ones.
Well, they've kind of got them out of the way in the preceding maps as Rick Van Dorn and Chris Yardley have swapped round. Rick Van Dorn now in 11th position. As Phil Reed, I think, has lost a bit of time against the dancing duo of... Oh, wow, I thought that was Blairman sliding off into space, but no, he managed to control that one. Oh, Victor Matios and Rano Luke side by side coming down to the Graham Hill Bend. The 19 car managing to get that position as he now stares at the back of that big train ahead. It's now kind of reunited itself. Oh, Dove and Pinsker used to have fought once or twice on the GTE field. Both Ford, yeah, both in Fords actually, I just thought.
When Pinsker getting very slidey going through the final corner to try and see if he can mount a challenge.
Trouble for Renault Luke. What has happened to the 15 car? Oh, again, that's Victor Matios again. Twice he spun. Oh, wow, let's just look at that again. That's not Victor Matios, that's Victor Matios. So he's had a spin, been clunked into for the second time, and very nearly, oh, he does collect the 9 car. That's Alec Hudson that clouted into the side of him.
Oh, that's, I think that's Christian Takas that's just gone off into the wall in Paddock Hill.
It is indeed Christian Takas that's gone off. What's he done? Oh, he got onto the dust very nearly. Well, he just kind of extended a little bit too far by the merest margin. And that's going to take him a little while to get out of that. That's Stefan Kamke and Tobias Weber having their battle just as they came past him. Oh, Pinsker and Domino. So James Pinsker's gotten past Sarah Dove and he's now having a crack at Squirtle in the 10 car. Who's going to win out on this one? James going to try an outside manoeuvre around Paddock Hill Bend. Not quite. Domino with the inside line. Here comes Sarah Dove. Going to try and nail both of them. Oh, no!
Oh, Domino's.
Oh, Domino's collected Pinsker after being spun out by Sarah Dove. Oh, no, that was a little over-ambitious there, Miss Dove, in the 177, but on she goes. There goes Matios plus. Oh, trouble as well for Jamie Smith. Oh, that's another victim of Paddock Hill Bend. Oh, he got really, really squiggly and bang into the wall. That's a lot of damage on the 21 car. Phil Reed's, he's going to get company pretty soon because that lead is dropping and dropping with each passing lap. And there's 9.5 minutes, well, just under 9.5 minutes to go of this race. So he's going to have some company soon. That's Rick Van Dorn coming past Nick Domino in 7th position. Behind, well, I was going to say behind Pinsker, really behind Evan is Stephen Brumfield. So they continue their fight. Oh, is Stephen going to try and bounce like that on the inside of the droids? No, not quite. Very, very close between those two. Oh, wow, that is Victor Matios getting a bit squiggly coming up to Druids.
And Brumfield's also about to start trying to mount his challenge on Evan. He's got the inside line going into 4, and actually Evan just gives him the corner.
Yeah,
and doesn't buy that too hard. That's not acceptable. We want racing. We want action.
We've had a fair bit of it, in fairness. There's Takas trying to make a move past Webber. Oh, Dominic Gaydermare, what's he done? No, we've lost him. What's he done?
He has hit. No, he's hit Jamie Smith going through turn 1. And
his engine's standing very. As Alec Hudson's had a problem as well. So Gaydermare has teleported himself back to the pits. What's Alec Hudson done?
He's just gone exploring.
He's gone for a bit of a wander. He's done a bit of. Well,
he's gone for a bit of a spin and then for a bit of a Sunday walk.
As he now returns to the pits. Now just 1.2 seconds separates Phil Reed and Blair Mann, and Blair is still dragging Christoph Holstein with him. So the comrade pair have stopped fighting amongst each other and working together to get towards the front as Phil lags again. Jamie Smith has brought his car into the pits. Not really a surprise as he's had a few excursions. Oh, Brumfield with Evan Imray and Rick Van Dorn in very, very short order. Evans had to back out of that as Rick Van Dorn had the inside line coming into Paddock Hill Bend.
Oh, that's Pinsker off. Pinsker's off in turn 1.
Oh no, from 4th or so I think it was. Oh, off he goes and very nearly smacked.
Oh, and Brumfield and Van Dorn have had contact as well.
Oh, let's have a look. Let's have a Druids. Ooh, yep, there they go. Well, I mean, Brumfield is the one that came off the worst. Ooh, and in his recovery, very nearly smacks into Domino and Pinsker. Oh dear, oh dear. Oh, look at the front though. Blair Mann really has closed in on Phil Reed. So the battle for the lead very much getting lively. That ahead of us is that's not Toby Webber. I'm sure who that is ahead. Alec Hudson? Yes, that's Alec Hudson. Is going to get some company from the race leaders very, very soon. Oh, Pinsker and Domino swap round. James Pinsker up into 6th position. Is Nick going to try and make a move? Nope, not this time. Oh, Yardley and Brumfield side by side into Druids. Whoops, Saradov has her own issue right behind them. Now into Graham Hill Bend. Not quite. Oh, Rano Luke and Tom Holland has swapped round. Oh, that's Domino and Pinsker. That's
Domino and Pinsker dominating to the grass to try and get past Pinsker. And he's actually made it work.
He has got him. Nicely done. Oh, is James going to try an inside manoeuvre coming through Clark? Can Domino get the momentum to try and keep him at bay? Nope. It's the answer to that as James nudges into the lead. It's got on board with Sarah Dove, the tail of this particular conga line. You just hear the thing misfire as you get off the gas.
Oh, it's just so good.
Yeah, towards Druids. There goes Pinsker on the inside of Domino right ahead of us as Sarah Dove.
Pinsker, I think, is also missing a front end.
Oh no, there goes Domino. He had a bit of a spin and then was helped around as Jamie Smith has brought his car back in. And Nick Domino rejoins as Victor Matios comes past him. Oh my goodness me. This is going to get interesting. Phil Reed now right with Blair Mann. Well, Blair Mann now right with Phil Reed, I should say, with Holstein in hot pursuit. And the back marker of Alec Hudson right there as well. Just get up the nose cam and see a bit more. That's Alec gone wide. I thought that was Phil Reed going right. They're both wearing the same livery. Oh, what a move from Blair Mann. He gets a cutback on Phil, but now going to be side by side coming through Graham Hill Bend. Phil's got the inside line, regains the lead. Here comes Holstein. Can he get through the pair of them? Side by side with Blair Mann. Into Surtees. Now McLaren Holstein with the outside line, so expecting Blairman to reclaim that. Now into Clark, and Phil Reed just about holds on to the lead. I know there's other battles going on, but this, I suspect, is going to go on a while.
I feel like Blair is not going to rest until he can get that P1 away from Reed, but also Holstein wants a bit of justice for the two races before this, where he was spun round to the back of the field quite early on, and he's actually got a chance of the win now.
Oh, Phil was really, really deep coming out of Paddock Hill Bend and just basically dived to the inside line. Oh,
but he's run wide and without allow Holstein in.
Oh, Holstein's got one. Can he claim the other? He's gone ahead of Blair Mann. But no, Phil Reed just about finds enough traction to fend off Holstein, but can he do so now? Holstein side by side to get on the chase camera. No, Holstein can't quite get alongside. Phil Reed, he hasn't lost it at all, has he?
Oh, and Blair was going to move, and he's just nudged Holstein a little bit wide. Holstein's managed to gather it up though, and hasn't fallen ill of that one at all. So he'll be able to somehow keep within the battle. And he's saying something in the voice chat that I can't quite hear. It couldn't be broadcast on stream anyway, but
no,
probably not happy with his fellow comrade teammate there.
No, we don't.
Actually, no, he's telling his teammate to keep going. Don't let him through.
Yeah, we can't hear it, and it's very often that it's good that we can't hear it.
That's true.
Saradov, let's look further back. Saradov's still got company from Stephen Broomfield and Chris Yardley for 7th position. Just saw James Pinsker go through the shot. Evan Imre is a little bit on his own. Rick Van Dorn is very on his own, as he's 8 seconds behind the lead battle and 7 seconds ahead of Evan. This lead battle has been brewing lap on lap on lap, and they've got 2.5 minutes until the checkered flag falls. That's really wide for Phil. As he just left the door wide open, it doesn't look like he's going to be able to get the traction he needs. And that's Blair Mann up into the lead. That was just one mistake.
But Phil's going to come back at him though. He's going to have the outside line for Paddock, and he's going to disappear. Maybe he could have just tried driving through Blair. That might be an effective strategy.
Oh, that's someone exploring the sand.
That Tobias Weber.
He picked a time to do it. Here comes Holstein again. He's going to try and go on the inside line through. It's on Phil Reed.
Oh, no contact and Phil's round.
So round goes Phil after leading the whole race until now. Oh my goodness me. And it's the comrade pair again. Team orders not here.
Never allowed in comrade. Not at all.
That is true.
Despite the fact they probably have been used at some point, but they don't exist in comrade. Never.
That is true. That is what they've always. That's always what they've said. Is that they always allow their drivers to race. But still, some other battles going on. Nick Domino and Victor Matias, and Broomfield and Yardley. They are the only other battles as I can see at the moment. Everyone else is fairly well spaced out. Whoa! As we cut back to Blair Mann, he's absolutely launched into Paddock Hill Bend there. So we have 1.25 minutes remaining until the checkered flag falls. 2 to go, as the overlay doth describe. It will indeed be 23 laps of this circuit, and what an incredible race, or set of races indeed it has been. Wise move from Stefan Kamicki to choose this car and this track.
I mean, I've partaken in a couple of wacky races where you take a car track and you put them together, and they should never mix. But it still creates an absolute amazing race. Not exactly in terms of actually good quality racing, but in terms of just having a bit of action, a bit of fun.
Yeah.
It always delivers.
Yeah, that is the name of it, isn't it? It's just damn good fun. Oops, and that's Tom Holland's got that all wrong into Druids. Oh, just manages to avoid the ball as Christian Takas goes through, and he's going to have Thomas Coombe on his tail. Still, Blair Mann leads the way over Christoph Holstein. We are on the final lap now. It's Blair's to lose. Comrade Gaming still asserting their dominance up front. Oh, the blue.
There's also a battle for the final podium position as well.
Yeah, yes, indeed, as Phil Reed's been caught by Rick Van Dorn. And we're also looking at Nick Domino and Victor Matias side by side into Paddock Hill Bend. Nick a little bit more cautious as he's on the outside there. Evan Imre and James Pinsker having an argument as well, as we see the 14 car Tobias Weber keeping out of the way. And that is Evan.
Van Dorn versus Phil Reed across the line. I think Van Dorn is going to just take that one. It was so close as they came out of Clark. Oh.
Yeah, it was Holstein. Oh, Holstein took the win. Apparently, no, he hasn't. It
No,
was
he's
Blair
just
Man.
ahead on the post race. Blair Man did take the win.
So then, as they come across the line for the final time, Evan just about beats out James Pinsker. Sarah Dove in 7th. Brumfield is going to beat Yardley across the line for 8th. Victor Matios does indeed stay ahead of Nick Domino and even weaves right in front of him. Oh, that's a little bit cheeky. Here comes Raneluk for 12th. Christian Takas, what might have been for him in 13th position. Here comes Tom Holland, right with Thomas Combe for 14th position. Stefan Kamke in 16th is the last of those on the lead lap. As Tobias Weber has already come across the line. Alec Hudson did actually come back on track. Well, he could have done. Not sure he actually did in the end.
Oh my goodness me, the scenes post-line that are going on right now.
Yeah, they're all going... as Evan Imre is carried on sort of quite merrily. There's Yardley having a good old burnout. Yep, there we go. The sort of what used to be the traditional iRacing finish. As they just have various elements of carnage going on. The blimp camera's useless, all you can see is trees. And that is it.
I think that was a backflip. Oh no, it wasn't quite a backflip from Blair Man.
Stefan Kamke is trying to recover. Show who that is. It's Holstein. Holstein on his head.
Yeah.
Sarah Dove is doing a lap backwards. Why not? That's a challenge in itself. Oh, there's I think was that Evan Imre that just shot past. Yeah, it was. And that is it. The racing is done. And that is the final farewell to myself. I must say, it's been an honour. I think is all I can say. I mean, I've only commentated with you for the past 6 months, but I mean, it's been such a great experience. It's been such a great thing to do on Monday nights, and just from me, it's a thank you, and I think it's a thank you from everybody around here. And like I said, off broadcast, basically any driver that found out that you were going to be commentating on their race would be very happy to see your name on the commentator list. So I'm probably speaking for a lot of people when I say thank you for everything you've done. It's genuinely been a huge pleasure. I have loved every single minute of it. Instead of dragging people into here, I'm just going to jump straight into the ready to interview box and just chat to everybody, I think.
Shall we go in there?
Yeah, let's dive headfirst
into
the ready for interview box.
Well, I had enough room, and then the track.
Bastard, son.
Hello,
I'm just looking at.
Hello.
We're all here.
Rather than,
by the way, sorry.
Rather than do oh my god, looks like everybody is here. So for the benefit of the stream and for everyone in here, we are still streaming, so try and behave. I'm looking at you, Scotsman. So in the room we have got Evan Imre, we have Sarah Dove, we have Phil Reed, we have Nick Domino, we have Dominic Gaydemer, we have Rick Van Dorn, Stefan Kamke, Thomas Kuhn, and Christoph Holstein currently with us. Hello everybody. I must say you put on a fantastically entertaining show. It's been great to be screaming about all this going on. Did you all have fun?
Oh my god.
That's amazing fun.
Most fun of iRacing I think many of us had in a while.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That was brilliant. That was absolutely brilliant. Who found that car sort of quite easy to control? Definitely silence.
I mean, and since it's not that fast, it's not that hard. But the tires were super hard to keep in check.
Unless you're Rick.
Yeah.
Unless you're Rick. Yeah.
Wow.
Considering the amount of offs there were and people upside down. I mean, I love your finish, Mr. Holstein. You know, the post-race finish on your head. Very nicely done. But yeah, that was absolutely brilliant. It really did look like a handful.
It is quite a handful.
But thank you, Mr. Kamke, for putting this combination together and putting this amazing race, organising this one. It was amazing fun. Oh, and James Pinsker has joined us as well. So it was quite a fun. Mr. Reed, great to be able to commentate on you one final time as well, as it's been a while. How did you had quite a lot of pressure, particularly from the comrade pair hunting you down towards the end? Was it kind of memories of old, or what was the feeling running through your head at that point?
I was just having fun. It was good times. I was trying to get Chris to take Blair out.
Didn't quite work that
didn't.
way. I honestly thought, Christoph, you were going to nail both of them at least twice in that whole movement going on, but sadly didn't happen. Was it a case of the comrade pair working together to hunt Phil down, or was it just a case of let's just spin the wheels and see what happens?
No, there's no team tactics going on here. We're just going flat out,
Good. That was the answer I was looking for. Goodness me. What to say at this point? We would normally run through interviews, but one, there's way too many of you. Mr. Domino, I can't remember if I highlighted this at the beginning, but I want to highlight the fact that you, as a point of reference to the stream, Mr. Domino, our graphics god throughout all the iRacing stuff, has loved to torment me by threatening to take away the code for the hide all button. That was the panic button if I got things wrong. And he never did do that, in fairness, but he gave me 4 of them today.
and only one of them
worked. So, you cheeky swine. But I must say,
to do it.
You did say you had to do it. But I'm very moved, very touched, very humbled that that so many of you took part in this evening's farewell race, and old names coming back as well, just to see me off. It has been tremendous, a lot of fun taking part in the iRacing side. I'm genuinely very sad that it has to come to an end, but I want to thank all of you very, very much for making my stay on the iRacing side an absolute pleasure.
Thank you for commentating for us and being here and just really making our races as well, King. It has been a pleasure to have you on the team.
Well, indeed,
yes.
It's a very reciprocated feeling. Just about catching my breath.
Silence.
Well,
race. I will say. I think Phil's car has been there's some cheat there. He was way too fast. I do blame the BOP. The BOP was completely wrong here.
And thank you.
I don't have a steering wheel in my car, so.
And thank you for those. I must. There's a couple of points I want to also point out when it comes to liveries. Phil, thank you very much for putting "Thank you, KK" on the back of the car. I was very touched by that. Also, I don't think Chris Yardley is here. I love the fact that he tried to jerry-rig the grin from the Ford onto the car. It didn't quite work. I think someone in chat said it looked like Squidward, which was quite amusing.
It actually does.
It does very much. But yeah, I don't have the words to express how grateful I feel that you've all come out. You allowed me to scream about you one final time on the iRacing side. It's been truly a pleasure. Yeah, I'm going over my own words because I don't know what else to say.
Well, you're the best commentator the AOR's ever had in the past 10 years of AOR running. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you commentating on so many games and for so long, especially the top tier and F1 leagues and esports and Project Cars when it was at its height at time, and it's so many, and we're so grateful to you for doing iRacing as well, which is of course the best game out there, best sim out there.
Did you call it game, Evan?
Yes. Did you use the G word?
I corrected myself. So
thank you, Evan. Thank you.
I'll give you a round of applause for everyone, I think, if it can.
That's going to sound amazing.
And Discord burns as everyone tries to chat. Well, I think the time has come for me to sign the stream off. Thank you very much to those who have been with us throughout the stream in chat. It's a great pleasure to have you on board. Thank you, James, for joining me in the commentary box for one final time. You did your best to keep me on the straight and narrow. And Nick will testify. It's a near impossible job.
I mean, it's basically, I don't know how I manage it.
It's
Oh.
truly a difficult job.
Oh, it's always fun. That's the main thing. It's a good laugh.
We try our best. Thank you very much to all the mods and cods that make these leagues happen through the iRacing side and all the other games, the F1, Project Cars 2, ACC, everything that AOR is involved with. It simply wouldn't happen without the army of volunteers that give up a lot of time to make it happen. And of course, thank you to our drivers. That literally wouldn't happen without you guys, but it's a great pleasure to commentate on so many wonderful people. And on that note, it is time for me for the final time to sign the stream off. So, for heartfelt me, thank you very much, and good night.